From singers to fashion, everything in the 1980s was upbeat and neon. Color combinations and fashion was bold, music was over digitalized, and movies and commercials caught everyone's attention. If you enjoyed cheesy comedies and far-fetched horrors, then the 80s is the perfect decade for you. What's the best thing that came out of the 80s? Let's dive deeper.
Okay, the fashion trends for the 80s were parachute pants, leg warmers, neon tracksuits, or neon colors, tracksuits men usually wore, fanny packs, lots of perms. I think that's it. I don't know. What did you wear? What I wore, well, I had many body waves back in the day. Baggy pants, denim jackets. I didn't wear leg warmers, but that was popular. That's it. Perms.
There's so many fashion trends, and I have to say, looking back, none of them were really good. But the one that I liked was probably lace, headbands, lots and lots of necklaces, maybe wigwam socks, things like that.
Okay.
Fashion in the 80s was very wild, as previously mentioned. For example, neon lace headbands and leg warmers. Did any famous figures inspire pop culture?
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was in The Predator, Commando, Conan the Barbarian. He was very masculine, very muscular. The women loved him. There was Brooke Shields. She was beautiful, brown hair, blue eyes. She was very popular for the Jordache commercial, which is the jeans, and very classy. Also, Eddie Murphy, funny comedian, very funny. He did a few movies. What was it? Beverly Hills Cop. He did. But as a comedian, he was very big in the 80s.
The person I have to say from the 80s that inspired my fashion one the most was Madonna.
There were many famous figures in the 80s, from muscular men like Arnold Schwarzenegger to dainty women like Madonna. There were role models for every type of person.
Pop culture that is unique to me, I would say the music. I loved the music in the 80s. It was upbeat, it was fun, a lot of disco, but then you also had a lot of rock and roll. You had Cyndi Lauper, you had Whitney Houston, you had the Rolling Stones, the Doors. I mean, we listened to it all. People used to walk around with big speakers and used to play the music really loud as they would walk around in Brooklyn. We would go to the roller rinks and go roller skating, and the music was always good, loud, and fun.
Music was an 80s staple. People blasted either disco or rock and roll everywhere. Speakers and boomboxes were a big hit in neighborhoods, and music played everywhere.
What we did for fun was we were always outdoors. We were always outdoors playing. We didn't have technology. We would jump rope, play paddleball, street games such as Scully. We would roller skate, skateboard. We were always out. From after school, we would come home, do our homework, and go out and play. Overall, we were just a happy group, played out a lot, and technology wasn't in the picture.
Roller skating. We actually talked on a telephone to our friends at night. We played manhunt in the street. We rode our bikes. We played a video game called Atari, and we watched MTV videos.
Being as there was no social media to distract people from their friends and family, once kids got home from school, they would throw their book bags down and pick up the phone or play outside.
The technology that we used, we only had telephones, rotary telephones with the cord attached to it. We didn't have handheld phones. We watched TV. We didn't have cell phones. We listened to radios. And the only first computer game that we played, if you were able to afford it, was Atari. When we were on a phone call with a friend, everybody in the house could hear you. You had no privacy. We would actually try to walk into another room and shut the door so we could have privacy. But parents heard everything.
Grammar school, we had a computer class, and the computers that we had weren't laptops like what you guys have now. They were called the Commodore 64, so that was like the biggest technology. Other things were Walkmans. We used to listen to cassette players on the Walkman, and VCRs.
Computers with very few games and Walkmans were popular in the 80s. Being there were no cell phones, families had to share and divide time on home phones.
Old school upbringing is what we still go by. You value your time with your family and friends. We did not have outside influences, so we always focused on what mattered to us. And I still enjoy the 80s music.
I love scrunchies, and I used to use those in the 80s.
Whether it was something simple like scrunchies or something more major like specific upbringings, older generations still go by a piece of the 80s.
Go.
Since having cable, there was always 24 hours, news channels, movies, nonstop movie playing. They didn't have a music channel. So MTV was its first to come out, to have 24-hour music playing, no commercials, and impacted the community and brought great value to all its listeners.
A lot, because we used to love to watch the videos, and the better videos we liked, then we liked the artist that was singing them.
MTV was the first 24-hour non-commercial music video channel. It inspired importance for music and helped people appreciate other types of artists.
Movies, The Breakfast Club. There was 5 teenagers that got detention. They eventually let their feelings out in the open, and either they got along at the end or some didn't. There was The Goonies, which was kid-friendly, fun, adventurous. E.T. I loved E.T. It was fun. It made me cry. But very fictional. And Back to the Future, which was very exciting, adventurous, amazing to see a flying car, which could possibly happen in our future one day. Those were great movies that we all got to see back then.
Candles. There were a lot of 80 movies. Loved mostly the Brat Pack movies, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, Breakfast Club. There was also The Goonies. Was a fun one too.
Movies like E.T., 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, The Goonies, and Back to the Future either entertained or inspired many of those who lived through the 80s.
Music back then was very upbeat, happy. There was a story behind the music. Today, I feel there's some songs that are still that way, but there's some songs today that a little depressing. name calling, inappropriate words, harsh words. Doesn't make you feel good kind of songs, I guess. Music used to have a meaning, and not all songs today, I think, are meaningful. Some are depressing, some are angry. Like I said, harsh name calling. I don't know. The songs back then, I think, were better, more upbeat and fun.
I love my 80s music. I will always love my 80s music. So I'm going to say it was better in the 80s.
Although some may appreciate the change in music, many people are disappointed. The 80s was fun and upbeat, unlike music today that could be more serious and negative.
I'm happy that movie production has improved. It's more realistic today, and the storytelling has improved using much better technology. Filmmaking has improved by, at the time, people were taken back when we watched the movie Jaws. We thought it was so realistic, so, oh my God, this can really happen. And then when you look back and you watch it now, today, it's a little cheesy because you can see that the shark is mechanical. But yeah, so things in the film production has improved a great deal. Fashion has gotten much better in the sense it's not so crazy. But then again, everything comes full circle, such as the loose pants, baggy pants, the neon colors, denim to stretchy jeans.
Say, although I loved it in the 80s, I'm very, very, very happy that big hair is no longer around.
Hairstyles have simmered down, movie production has improved, and although fashion has changed, it is all starting to come full circle. At the time, pop culture in the 1980s was new, weird, and amazing. Although many people look back, roll their eyes, and laugh at how cheesy music and clothing style was, we see many of these trends coming back.